Abduction, Chapter 27, Part 2. "Let me out here," I said. "Ek and I will watch and follow on foot." "What will I do?" asked Tatiana. "Drive past them and come back around," I said. "You can pick us up again here." Tatiana nodded her agreement as Echo and I exited the car. We watched as Tatiana turned right and drove past Ivanovna's car. Didn't have any specific plan, nor did I know what we would do should Ivanovna start driving away. My hopes were Ivanovna would get out of the car and start walking toward her destination. This, I hoped, would be her new office location. Our wait was not long as Ivanovna's two escorts got out of the sedan. They were followed by Ivanovna. The trio walked toward the building, and stepped out from the door was the young filmmaker, Ilya Popov. Echo and I said nothing to each other as we watched from a distance. We did our best to look as inconspicuous as possible by pretending to window shop. The reflection in the shop windows allowed us not to stare directly at our adversaries across the street. Echo and I took turns looking over our shoulder at Ivanovna's direction. It was only when Ivanovna and her escort went into the building that we turned around. "Let's go," muttered Echo. "I want to see where they're going." I, too, was eager to find out the location of Ivanovna's new office. Still, my gut feeling was telling me to be careful. I was right as Ilya Popov came out of the building and marched in our direction. I gave Echo a gentle tug on the arm. Echo did not put up a fuss, as she too had spotted the young filmmaker. Ilya had not spotted us. This was understandable, as he would not have known us. I was banking on Ilya not remembering us from the party. The shop in which we had entered had a wonderful smell of food. The eatery was decorated with old meat mincers that were neatly displayed on wooden shelves. The room was decorated with red walls and black trim. The effect was surprisingly pleasing. "Ilya's gone past. We can go now," muttered Echo. If it were not for our goal of finding where Ivanovna had gone, I would have been content to stay in the establishment and eat. However, Echo was right. We were on a mission. My instinct tugged me in a different direction against what my head was telling me. Seeing where Ivanovna had gone was necessary, I told myself as I followed Echo out of the eatery's door. Hitting the pavement and leaving the delicious smells didn't make my stomach very happy, and only seemed to sharpen my instinct. Once out on the sidewalk, my eyes gravitated and followed Ilya down the street. "Forget about Ilya. Let's go see where Ivanovna went." "You're right," I said as I looked toward the building that Ivanovna had gone into. The car she had driven up in had left the scene. "We shouldn't spend too much time looking. Let's go in and have a quick look around, and then leave," said Echo. I nodded in agreement. "Okay, let's go. But we should take our time just in case Ivanovna comes out of the building. We should not attempt to be seen, or at least not be snooping around." "I think it's a little late for that," muttered Echo. Echo and I barely reached the opposite sidewalk when Ivanovna stalked out of the building. Only someone with bad eyesight would have missed us. I also suspect that she knew we were following her. Plus, the only reason she would walk out of the building would be to see where we were. After all, her car was no longer there. When Ivanovna spotted us, she waved in a way that indicated that she wanted us to come to her. What choice did we have? Echo and I could ignore her and walk in another direction, pretending we were only sightseeing another part of the city. "She spotted us," I said. "She knows we followed her here." "Let's see what she wants," muttered Echo. My curiosity was more significant than my revulsion of the woman. Ivanovna led us here, but I had suspicions that she had more in mind than showing us where her new office was. I wouldn't say I liked the scenario. "Let's be a little bit coy about why we followed her," I muttered closer to Echo's ear. I didn't want other pedestrians around us to hear our conversation clearly. "I agree," responded Echo. "We should tell her we need to set up a time to come and see her. But we can't today because our ride will be arriving to come and get us soon." Echo's suggestion was playing out well. I spotted Tatiana's car coming down the street. I don't know if she saw us yet. It didn't matter. Our conversation with Ivanovna would be short. Ivanovna waved and met us halfway. She welcomed Echo with a hug and gave me a brief glare. I wanted to tell the feeling was mutual. "It's good to see you, my friend," said Ivanovna. "I see you have found my new office," stated Ivanovna as she shifted her weight from one leg to another. "I wish we had time to talk, but everything in my office is a mess. Maybe we could meet in a few days." I was relieved. There would be no need to make up a story to cover our following the reporter. But that was just assuming that she knew we had followed her to this part of the city. Either way, I didn't care. I had in my mind to question Maxim about what had gone on in the office just 30 minutes prior. "Yes, we would love to come to your new office when you get settled in," said Echo. "We have a lot to talk about." "That would be wonderful," said Ivanovna. "But I have to tell you something." "Oh?" questioned Echo. I kept my eye on where Tatiana was with her car. She was stuck at a street light and would be soon arriving at the front of Ivanovna's building. I let Echo do all the talking, as I might say something rude. Yes, you must avoid Maxim Volkov, said Ivanovna with distaste. He is a dangerous man. Why? What happened? Asked Echo. Couldn't tell if Echo was acting, but I was sure Ivanovna was full of shit. I saw what happened at Maxim's warehouse. He pushed me out of his office. Maxim is a violent man, said Ivanovna. My advice is not to revisit him or his business, or you could end up dead. He is an intolerable man with a bad temper. Echo looked submissive and raised her hands in an apologetic pose. I won't see Maxim again, and neither will Richard. I felt the woman's eyes look over at me. I, of course, had more than one relationship to keep in mind. Being friends with Valeri would make it difficult to visit him at the sporting club and not encounter Maxim. Besides, I had a mystery to solve, and Maxim held some of those answers. I had no choice but to answer one way. I had to lie. I have no problem not seeing Maxim again, I said as I looked at Ivanovna. I wanted to see her reaction. Ivanovna seemed content with my response, but I couldn't read Echo. We both knew that I had to speak with Maxim to get his side of what was going on. Plus, she knew I was not fond of Ivanovna. I'm happy to hear that, and relieved, said Ivanovna as she placed her hand to her chest. The reporter was putting up a great act. If she were in the States, I would recommend her for an Academy Award. I knew we would have to go, and Tatiana was coming with the car from down the street as the light changed to green. We should go, I said while looking at Echo. Call me and set up a time to come to the new office, said Ivanovna. The reporter's request was not directed at me, and we both knew it. She didn't like me either.